Have you ever wondered why some people seem trapped in the same struggles year after year, despite praying, fasting, and hoping for change? What if I told you that one of the greatest weapons used against people is not lack of money, lack of opportunity, or even lack of talent, but ignorance? Pause. Today, I want to share something powerful I learned in church that completely changed the way I look at life. And if you are serious about becoming the person God created you to be, I encourage you to stay until the very end of this video. Because one idea in this message could completely change the direction of your life. Soft inspirational music begins. Let's begin. The hidden danger of ignorance. One of the most quoted verses in the Bible says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." Think about that for a moment. It did not say God's people are destroyed because they are weak. It did not say they are destroyed because they are poor. It did not say they are destroyed because God abandoned them. It says they are destroyed because they lack knowledge. Pause. Imagine a person sitting in a dark room. The room has a door. The door is unlocked. Freedom is literally a few steps away. But because the person does not know the door exists, they remain trapped, not because they are imprisoned, but because they are unaware. That is what ignorance does. It creates invisible prisons. Many people are not limited by what they cannot do. They are limited by what they do not know. And unfortunately, ignorance often becomes comfortable. We become familiar with certain habits. We become familiar with certain mindsets. We become familiar with certain excuses. And before we realize it, comfort becomes captivity. B-roll, person sitting alone in a dimly lit room, then discovering a door filled with light. Why the enemy loves ignorance? Let's be honest. A person who understands their purpose is dangerous. A person who understands their value becomes difficult to manipulate. A person who understands God's promises walks differently, speaks differently, lives differently. Pause. That is why ignorance is such a powerful weapon. When people do not know who they are, they settle for less. When people do not know what God says about them, they believe every negative opinion spoken over their lives. When people do not know their potential, they live beneath it. Think about a lion raised among sheep. For years it behaves like a sheep. It fears what sheep fear. It follows where sheep follow. It limits itself because it believes it is something it is not. Then one day, it sees its reflection. And everything changes. The lion was never weak. The lion was simply unaware. B-roll, lion looking into water and recognizing its reflection. The same is true for many people. The moment knowledge enters, limitations begin to disappear. The power of your words. Now let us talk about something that affects every single one of us. The words we speak. Many people speak negatively about themselves without realizing it. Listen carefully. How often have you heard people say, "I can never succeed. I am always unlucky. Nothing good ever happens to me. I am not smart enough. I will never make it." Pause. At first, these may sound like ordinary statements. But words are powerful. Your words influence your thoughts. Your thoughts influence your actions. Your actions influence your results. If someone constantly tells themselves they cannot succeed, eventually they stop trying. If someone constantly tells themselves they are not good enough, eventually they start believing it. And what we repeatedly believe often becomes the lens through which we see life. B-roll, person looking into a mirror, transforming from discouraged to confident. This is why we must be intentional about our speech. Not because we are pretending, not because we are denying reality, but because we are choosing to align our mindset with hope, faith, and possibility. A simple story that changed my perspective. Let me share a simple example. Imagine two farmers. Both have the same land. Both have the same weather. Both have the same opportunities. But every day, the first farmer says, "This season will be terrible. Nothing will grow. There is no point trying." Eventually, he stops caring for his crops. He neglects the field, and his fears become reality. The second farmer says, "This season may be challenging, but I will do my best. I believe something good can come from my efforts." So he continues planting. He continues watering. He continues working. And eventually, he experiences growth. Pause. Notice something important. The difference was not magic. The difference was mindset. One person's words led to surrender. The other's words led to action. And action created opportunity. Speak what you want to see. One lesson I learned today is that we should be careful about what we repeatedly say about ourselves. Instead of saying, "I can't," try saying, "I am learning." Instead of saying, "I always fail," try saying, I am growing through every experience. Instead of saying, my future is hopeless, try saying, my future is still being written. Pause. These small changes may seem insignificant, but over time, they reshape how we think. And how we think shapes how we live. Remember, your words are seeds. Every day, you are planting something. The question is, what are you planting? Fear, doubt, negativity, or faith, hope, and possibility. B-roll. Seeds growing into healthy plants, sunrise over a field. Living a divine life in a practical way. Many people hear the phrase divine life and imagine something mysterious. But living a divine life begins with practical decisions. Here are a few simple habits. 1. Seek knowledge daily. Read, learn, study, grow. Never stop expanding your understanding. Knowledge opens doors that ignorance keeps closed. 2. Guard your thoughts. Pay attention to what you repeatedly think about. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you water will grow. 3. Speak life. Choose words that encourage growth, wisdom, and faith. Be careful about speaking defeat over your future. 4. Surround yourself with positive influences. The people around you influence the direction of your life more than you may realize. Choose relationships that inspire growth. 5. Take action. Knowledge without action changes nothing. Apply what you learn. Consistency creates transformation. The wake-up call. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. The choices you make today will determine who that future version of you becomes. Will that future version be stronger, wiser, more confident, more purposeful? Or will they still be trapped by the same fears and limitations? The answer begins with what you decide today. Not tomorrow, today, because transformation does not happen overnight. It happens one decision at a time, one thought at a time, one word at a time, one action at a time. Conclusion. Today I learned something that reminded me of an important truth. Ignorance keeps people stuck. Knowledge creates freedom. Negative words create limitations. Positive words create possibilities. And a divine life begins when we intentionally align our thoughts, words, and actions with growth, wisdom, and purpose. You do not need to have all the answers today. You simply need to take the next step, learn, grow, speak life, and continue moving forward. Because the person God created you to become is waiting on the other side of your growth. And that journey begins now. Call to action. If this message spoke to you, write this in the comments. I choose growth over ignorance. I would love to read your responses. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this encouragement today. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed, stay inspired, and remember, the life you repeatedly speak, believe, and work toward is often the life you gradually create.